Keep it up.
Everybody, and welcome to another round of this season's Tier 2 Season 12 Slipstream Racing League race. My name is CM Punk, and my co-host today is my beautiful friend...
Babulas?
Exactly. And we are here tonight to get this amazing race underway. This is Tier 2, Round 12, Silverstone Grand Prix. An exciting race nonetheless. Heck, I know it. I've been racing here yesterday in Tier 3 race, and now today I'm going to be your host for this race studio and the whole race as a commentary team in Tier 2, where the fight is actually really interesting when it comes to both individual and Constructors' Championship. Let's take a look at the quick results before we even begin the qualifying session. We can now be sure that Equals is the championship leader in Aston Martin. However, it is very tight on top as we have two runner-ups for the championship with only 1 point less than the current leader. Those are Ron Cruiser from Haas and Luke GDI from Ferrari with 1 point behind Equals. When it comes to the Constructors' Championship, the Haas are on the lead with 68 points, 8 points clear of Aston Martin, who are right behind them, and then Ferrari with 54 points. Almost every single person on the grid this season out of 20 riders has scored points, except for 4 riders that are still hoping to get their first points tonight. We are just about to begin the first qualifying session here at Silverstone Tier 2. And we're going to see who's going to take pole position for today's race. This is going to be very exciting as we are entering the final stage of loading. Obviously, entering the qualifying session, the fans' favorite and, well, favorite on paper is Equals. He is still the championship leader, but this is Silverstone. Anything can happen here in this track. We're about to enter the final moments, and we'll be on the track right about now.
Yesterday
now
we
we're
had
gonna wait.
2 safety cars. Do you expect safety car today?
I mean, that depends. Well, Tier 3 drivers are usually known for more crashes than the Tier 2 drivers, but this is just a theory. We know that at Silverstone it's pretty easy to bring out a safety car because there are multiple high-speed corners where you can slip or just collide with a teammate or an enemy side by side. So basically there's a big chance for a safety car, but it's basically a coin flip. Nobody will know. We're going to have to wait and find out to see how is this race going to go down. Maybe it's going to be one of the cleanest races. We don't know that. So I can see already McLaren heading out for the track. This is Matt going out for his first round. And the second car to hit the drive, of course, is Alpine, followed by Haas. So the first drivers begin to appear on the track. Again, do we have only Q1, Q2, and Q3, or do we have only Q1 in Tier 2? Because I'm new to this tier, I'm only a Tier 3 driver, so...
We have 18 minutes.
Okay, so it's 18 minutes, only qualifying Q1, okay. So, there's a very small place to make a mistake, because as a driver myself, I know that 18 minutes is only about 3 to 4 laps, so there are not many opportunities to make mistake. If you make one mistake on a lap, it's basically a lap to be thrown out the window, and you only have 2 more chances. So this is going to be very tight, especially that this track can be pretty crowded, as I personally myself experienced yesterday. This track can be very crowded, and then you're going to have to spend a lot of time letting other drivers through. This will only keep losing your precious seconds and minutes on the track. So we're going to have to wait and see how the drivers will communicate in order to get the best possible lap times so that they won't have any sort of traffic, because traffic in Formula 1 is very annoying, especially when you're a driver and you just can't get it done because somebody's ruining your lap. We are now still waiting for drivers to begin their timing laps. Everybody is... Yes. Who started the hot lap? Sorry?
He will start now. P8, Matt.
P8, yes. Matt is officially now begun his first flying lap of this session. Let's see how is he gonna do for now. Followed through by Harkitari, who is now beginning his flying lap in Alpine. We're gonna see who makes a better lap time. McLaren is now getting the DRS open. It's almost done in the first sector. Just missed the Red Bull, and the time for his first sector is going to be 27.305. Let's see how this is going to compare to others. The first laps are usually just safe laps because every driver knows that they need some kind of safe lap to get any time done, because if you like spin or crash out before you make a time, this is going to be very bad for you. So usually the first laps are just for the warm-up, and then the final laps in the final minutes are usually the ones that determine the grid. But very often it happens that the drivers actually made the best lap during their first lap. So we'll see if some of the drivers will actually deliver a very good qualifying lap. Matt is already almost done with his second sector. Time so far 1:02.484. We'll see how this is going to end up on the final sector, and we're going to see how it's going to be compared against all the other drivers. So far, every driver is on the track except for two drivers. Yep. We got Red Bull, Kyriakidis, and Aston Martin, Giannis, who are still in the pits. They still haven't come out on the track. And Matt finishes his lap with 1:25. Let's see how is it going to be compared to other drivers. We have Tarki time from Alpine, 1:25.651, and his teammate who makes it worse. So it's now Alpine 1-2 for now. McLaren time is not on the scoreboard. I don't know if he cancelled his lap, maybe he invalidated, because so far we got both Alpine times on the scoreboard. Now we have to wait for another lap. So we have sector 3 yellow flag. What happened there? And now Haas makes even better lap. He's now on the original pole. Sector 1 yellow flag as well. There might be a lot of yellow flags because a lot of flags will be, a lot of drivers will be letting other through, so the yellow flags will be a lot of them. Williams makes
the pole position with Haas.
Haas is on provisional pole, yes. Now we got Williams up into second place. Both AlphaTauri drivers in between the Alpine drivers, and Alfa Romeo with the worst time so far. Now McLaren hops into fourth place. Nipo, very well done, and he's now at fourth. Coming in, we got another time from the second Williams driver. He's at P8 at the moment. Second Haas is at P9. Alfa Romeo is still on the bottom of the timesheets. New fastest time from Tunari in a Ferrari, 1:25.496. Pretty decent advantage over the Haas in the now second place. We're gonna see who's gonna be able to top that. So far it's pretty close between the top guys. We got small differences between the whole top four. And now the new time on the scoreboard. Red Bull is now P10. And we got another time, this time from
before with the Ferrari.
And he made fifth time of the session so far. Ferrari is looking really strong right now. Very good time from Tunari. Luke is also really good right now, standing at provisional P5. We're still waiting for the times of McLaren, both Mercedes, one Red Bull, one Alfa Romeo, and two Aston Martins. And it's the fastest lap so far for Aston Martin, for the championship leader, Equals, who is now at 1:25.324. That is really good time from the Aston Martin driver, who is on provisional pole for now. We're still waiting for a couple of drivers to finish their first laps. We're going to see how this is going to be seated after the first rounds of every single car.
Okay, we have an information. I see Icewind on outlap with Inters, and RCCN is going with Inters as well. I don't know the condition of the track right now, but I don't see any raindrops.
I mean, this could be approached both ways, because you can be George Russell type of guy and you could be feeling that your sweat is actually rain, or you can use intermediate tires to make like a test lap. A lot of drivers in league races actually do that in order to not waste their soft tire compound. Again, it's a Mercedes driver, so maybe he's just feeling that his sweat is actually some raindrops, but we're about to find out what it's gonna be able to pull off. A lot of yellow flags, sector 2. Gonna have to wait.
Never raining in England.
Oh yeah, I mean, England happens to be raining a few times, so we got time from Mercedes driver, our gamer. He's at P7 at the moment. The second Aston Martin, Giannis, is at P8 at the moment. He's also made time. We're now waiting for only one of the McLarens, one of the Alfa Romeos, Red Bull, and Mercedes to finish their laps in order to be having full grid at the moment. Of course, we still got about 10 minutes worth of qualifying. We're gonna see where is this gonna go, who is going to improve. We'll of course expect a lot of mix-ups. Top 5 is really squeezed out there. Look at the differences between the top 5, especially between 5th and 4. Oh my god, that is really close. They're really bunching up.
I'm waiting for Icewind to start his program right now.
Yeah, Icewind is beginning.
Come on, Icewind says it's on Inters, but he's wearing soft.
Maybe it's some kind of miscommunication. We know that Mercedes struggled a lot with the radio in real Formula 1. Maybe this is the case here. We're gonna see if they're just trying to adapt into this role play, or are they just miscommunication? We'll see. So Icewind is on his lap.
Maybe the game needs some fixing.
Maybe. So let's see at our drivers so far. We're still waiting for the laps of McLaren, who's now on an out lap, and so is Red Bull. Icewind is on a quick lap, and Alfa Romeo of Kotsampassis is on a quick lap, which means that any second now we should be getting all 20 driver times. We're gonna see how it's gonna be after first runs of every single driver. 9 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock till the end of the qualifying session, and then we just head straight into race. We're about to see how are we gonna enter it. We're still waiting for a couple of more laps to see where we at. And Alfa Romeo makes 11th time of the session so far. We're still waiting for 3 more drivers. McLaren, Red Bull, and Mercedes. Icewind is gonna be the first out of those 3 to finish his quick lap, and then 2 other drivers to finish them, so we can have full 20 times, and we can compare them who is standing at the top and who's gonna be scraping the bottom. Icewind is coming into sector 3. He's about to finish his quick lap. First quick lap for Icewind in Mercedes. As he's coming across the finish line, he is on 4 and 3rd. Wow, 3rd time from Icewind. Very well done. And Mercedes is in the top 3 for now. Still waiting for McLaren, who is on his quick lap right now. Let's see where he's at. Sector 1, finishing. Sector 2 already begun. Red Bull is on an out lap, so there are only 2 cars remaining to make a quick lap. Red Bull and McLaren. McLaren is just about to finish it. He's entering 3rd sector any second now. And Red Bull has just begun his quick lap. He's entering sector 1. We're about to get full grid any moment. With 8 minutes to go, this is not going to be a lot of time. If any of the guys will start a lap now, they will still have 2 laps. But the Red Bull is going to be tight for them to make 3 laps, unless they don't even plan to. Maybe they are just planning to make 2-lap run. We're about to see. McLaren of Matt is coming into 3rd sector. So far it's looking good. We'll see how is he going to end up on the scoreboard. Icewind went all the way from the bottom from no time up into P3. Other drivers in the meantime are also trying to fight for positions in the middle of the scoreboard. We can now see the shifts, and here they go. Another lap from McLaren. It's Matt with P4 presumably at the moment. Very well done from McLaren. Again, very high position for him. And the final driver with no lap time is now Red Bull of Kyriakidis. Once he'll finish the lap, we're gonna have a presumable grid at our own eyes. We'll see who's gonna be the best. We have so far equals as a leader from provisional pole position, then followed by Williams of Vlad Reed, Tunari in a Ferrari, Icewind in McLaren, Icewind in Mercedes, sorry, Matt in McLaren, Run Cruiser in Haas, then we got Alpine of Harikitarki, Luke in Ferrari, Metal in McLaren, R Gamer, Giannis, Dice, Bebix, Kotsam Sassis. We got time from Red Bull. He's 11th on the scoreboard. That is a good time from Kyriakidis. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing those names, probably all of them, but I'm still new in here. After Bebix in 14th, we've got Alfa Romeo of Kotsam Passis, then Smelto, Basco, Flau, Nyko, and Grazy Joss. So these are our top 20 at the moment with 6 minutes to go. This is about to be last 2 laps of the session. We are now having Aston Martin on an out lap, the leader of the qualifying session. We'll see what he can do. I can see Tunari is in the gravel and in the grass. What is going on with Ferrari? He had to have done some kind of mistake. He was on a quick lap, but now he's all over the grass. Tunari must have made some kind of mistake during his quick time lap, so he's gonna have to restart that. We're now looking at other drivers. A couple of them are in the pits, but some of them are on a fast lap. Luke is actually slightly improving. While he's at P9, he's improving just a bit. We got Mepo on a flying lap in the McLaren. Our Gamer in Mercedes also improving after 2nd sector. Our Gamer just a tiny bit. Red Bull of Kyriakidis is also on a flying lap. We got improvement from... who was improved? We have an improvement from, I believe it's Smelto, who is now P7 in AlphaTauri. He was all the way at the bottom at someplace around 16th. Now he's jumping to 7th. What a great improvement from him. We'll see if this is going to stay like that or is somebody going to get the better of him. We got 6 minutes, less than 6 minutes actually, of the qualifying remaining. We're still looking for those on the quick laps. Our Gamer is now improving, and he will be in 3rd place. Great improvement for the Mercedes driver as he hops into P3. The differences between the top 5 are still incredibly narrow, especially between Icewind and Tunali. Holy crap, this is very close. Smelto already gets down into P8. as somebody's ahead of him. Now it's Luke, he's now P6. So now we're just waiting for drivers to improve their positions. We're gonna have to keep checking on them, who's gonna improve themselves. We can now see that Giannis is not improving with that Aston Martin. However, Williams of DICE is improving almost half a second faster on his lap from P13. Where is this guy gonna go? We'll see how is he gonna do this. We got a lot of different position swaps, but so far still the leader of the session on provisional pole is Equals in that Aston Martin. He is still untouchable at the top. He's already on his another quick lap. We're about to see where is this gonna go. Our gamer is now coming in. On the quick lap we have Giannis right now, who is coming into the pits, so he's gonna abort that lap. We have DICE still on the quick lap, second sector. We'll see if he's gonna improve anything for his time. Alfa Romeo is on a quick lap, that's Kotsampasis. And we got one of the Red Bulls, Naiko, on the quick lap as well. We're gonna see if any of those will improve. We got our gamer on the track as well, but I think he's coming in. Other than that, everybody else is in the pits. We have yellow flag. DICE is coming in, so he's aborting the lap. Kotsampasis is still trying to improve. He's actually improving quite a bit after sector 2. We got a Red Bull on a quick lap. He is not really improving. We'll see if he's going to change positions. The drivers on the outlaps are now Matt and Icewind. We've also got Harkitarki, on the track for his quick time. We're gonna see if he's gonna improve anything. Alfa Romeo is about to cross the finish line. He's so far at presumable P17. Is he gonna go any faster? Is he gonna get even better? We'll see if he's gonna go any higher than that. Coming towards the finish line, he goes 14th fastest. It's a bit of improvement, not that much, but still an improvement from 17th to 14th. Well done for him. We're now watching Alpine of Harkitarki improving by 10ths of a second. So we'll see if he'll get any higher than that. He's at P10 at the moment. Still, nobody came this close to take out Equals, who is still the provisional pole. The closest person we have is Vlad Reed in second place in that Williams, who is now coming out of his pits, but we'll see if he's going to be able to threaten the leader and the championship leader, Equals, who is still on provisional pole position. The Red Bull is about to finish his lap. No, Naiko is coming into the pits, which means he will not improve. He's still at provisional P19. Kotsampasis is now looking to improve with his Alfa Romeo, or is he on the in-lap? He was just finishing his lap, so this must be an in-lap for the Alfa Romeo. We know that Alpine is on a quick lap. He is not really improving, but he's not that far off, so he might be still getting something out of that sector 3. Is he gonna do Max Verstappen from Monaco, where he just improved a whole lot? And we can see he is not. He's still at P10 so far, so it's not improving for Alpine. We are seeing Matt, who is now beginning his quick lap. He's in sector 1, and Icewind is also in sector 1 on a quick lap, so both drivers are looking to improve their times. We'll see if they're gonna do it. A couple of other drivers on the outlap, and we have now only 2 minutes remaining in the session, which means it's not a lot. The quick time of the lap in here is about 1:25, which means that if you want to make a lap, it's about your time to get out of those pits and make that lap to get yourself a better position for the starting of the race. We'll see if somebody will be able to improve from their current positions. So far, still Equals is unthreatened. Vlad Reed second, our gamer, then Tunari, Icewind, Luke, Matt, Smelter, Ron Cruiser, Harkitarki, Mepo, Kyriadikis. Yes, exactly. Giannis, Kotsampasis, DICE, Bebic, Basco, Flo, Naiko, and Grazy Joes. And Grazy Joes has retired from the session. He's not gonna improve anymore. He'll be starting the race from 20th position in that Haas. We'll see if Matt in a McLaren can improve anything. He's currently presumably P7. He's coming across the finish line right about now, and he does not improve, which means he stays in P7. He can still try another lap if he'll be able to make it across the finish line, because we have not a lot of time in the session, 1.10, so we got only 1 minute. So this is final moment to begin your lap. We can now see Icewind. He didn't improve either. He's still at presumable P5. Williams of Vlad Reed is on an outlap, and he is improving on a quick lap. Sorry, he's on a quick lap. He's improving, which means he might be able to threaten the presumable pole sitter at the moment, Equals. This might be a tight battle for pole position as Vlad is on his final quick lap. Can he take that pole position and take it away from Equals? We're about to find out. Equals is on his outlap, which means he still can improve. This is going to be one lap versus one lap duel, and we're about to see who's going to come out on top, Williams or Aston Martin. Vlad Reed finishing his second sector. How is he going to be? He is improving just enough to be on provisional pole if he's going to keep up this pace. The question is, how is he going to go through third sector? This is going to be the final moments of his final lap. Oh, he did had a bit of slip up from his rear tires. We're about to see if it's going to be actually something that he should be worried about, or if he's gonna make it. Is he gonna stick it on provisional pole position? Vlad Reed across the finish line, and he's done it! He's on provisional pole. Now, what can Equals do? What will the championship leader counter for that? Will he gain a better lap, and will he be on the provisional pole? Because, well, he will be on the pole, but we still have cars in the back. We still have our gamer, Tunari, and other drivers trying to improve their times. Tunari is improving as well. Our gamer improving a lot. This is gonna be interesting. Equals does not actually improve after second sector. This might mean he's not gonna be on pole position. This will be very important time for him. We got Tunari improving after the first two sectors. We got our gamer improving after first two sectors. This is gonna be very tight. Remember what I said in the beginning. This is gonna be a very close battle for pole position between the top 5 and maybe even more. Here they come. Equals. He's about to begin his final sector. Let's see if he's improving after those two sectors. As he finishes sector number 2, Equals is still not improving, but he is getting closer. Tunari finishes his final lap. He's on P3. Matt has retired. He's on P7 presumably for now. Also, we got another finishers. Ron Cruiser goes up into P5. He's provisional P5. Tarki is finished. He's already at provisional P10. Beddy's finished 14th. Here we go. Across the finish line is about to come in Equals. He gets dropped to third with Smelto, getting the front row provisionally. He's at P2 for now. And Equals is not going to improve. He's on P3, which means this could be Vlad Reed pole position. We're still waiting for Icewind. He's not improving after 3 sectors. And this is it, unless Flaw from P18. No, he's retiring to the pits, which means Vlad Reed is on pole position for the Silverstone Grand Prix with Smelto in the front row, and the championship leader, Equals, will be on P3, followed by Tunari in the Ferrari, then our gamer, Luke GDI, Ron Cruiser, Icewind, Matt, Tarki, Giannis, Mepo, Kyriak Kidis, Bebix, Kotsampasis, Dice, Basco, Flaw, Naiko, and Grazy Joss. Wow, what a finish to this qualifying session, as Aston Martin was having the lead for the whole time, but in the end it's Williams with Vlad Reed who are taking pole position, and Smelto from AlphaTauri getting that front row. Look at the differences between AlphaTauri and Williams up in the front. That is incredibly low. Even smaller between AlphaTauri and Equals on Aston Martin. Wow, 4 thousandths of a second between front row and P3. And that sums up the qualifying session of Silverstone. Now we're heading into the Grand Prix itself. This is going to be amazing.
You are a little bit unfair. Come on. I'm taking to
Why am I unfair? Why am I unfair?
Daniel says, unfortunately, it's over the day that Scott Dice is about to beat you all.
Maybe. I mean, I'm not saying he isn't. I mean, I started the race yesterday from P16 and I went all the way up into P10 in the first corner, so anything can happen. I don't know if Tier 2 is as chaotic as Tier 3, but if it is, I mean, it's gonna be incredible. We now have the timesheets of the final qualifying standings. The differences between the top 6, even top 7, is absolutely incredible how small of a margin that is. We're now awaiting the start of the Silverstone Grand Prix.
Yesterday I was running half the race with a broken front wing.
I mean, yeah, it's
because
pretty...
I went to the pit lane to change the front wing and the crew didn't change it.
Oh my god, no, that's like the worst. I had a race in Monaco with broken wing because I was like, no, I mean, I'm not gonna pit, it's gonna take too much time. And I went like 20 laps in Monaco with orange wing. That was like, oh, for Christ's sake, never again. Yeah, but we'll see. Hope the driver will be able to get out of turn 1 without a broken front wing, because that's actually quite a challenge in a lot of league races. You are here more often than I am. How do you think? Are there going to be many crashes into turn 1, or are they going to be able to walk out of there alive, each and every one of them?
If they don't control themselves, we will have a couple of crashes, for sure. They have to control themselves for the couple of top first corners, so
We're about to see because we're underway with the Silverstone Grand Prix. Here we go. Is Vlad Reed gonna hold his lead into turn 1? That Williams is coming in at equals, gets into second place. Smelto drops the P2 and Williams holds his lead. He's now currently first, but here comes Smelto down the inside. He's coming into P2 again, trying to fight the championship leader on medium compound. The championship leader is on hard compound and he is in P2. Then Tunari, who was able to get into P4. Our Gamer drops to 5th. Then followed by Luke side by side with Icewind, who's gonna come out on top in this fight between Mercedes and Ferrari. And here we go, Luke into the inside, and down the inside goes Icewind now. He's up into P6. Luke is down to 7. Here comes Haas to take position away, and we have yellow flag into sector 2. What happened there? We can now see that all the drivers made it through, but we have a lot of differences between P13 and 14. Oh my god, it's a crash in the back, and we have lost, at least for now, we have got spinning Red Bull and spinning Williams. They're both spun at the end. Dice and Nico, they have, I don't know if they collided themselves, but we got both of them spinning. There have been some debris, which means somebody has lost his front wing, at least in parts. So there's a big mayhem in the back.
Doesn't seem to have any problem. You can say about Dice.
Yeah, we'll see about Dice, what's going to be happening to him. But for now, we can see the new race leader, Smelto, is taking the lead with AlphaTauri, following by Vlad Reed. And then the championship leader, Ron Cruiser, is up into P6. For now, we are having sector 3 yellow flags again. Another mishaps. And we have a fastest lap, of course, from the leader. What's happening now? We got Yes, we have a first person in the pit. Crazy Joe's must have been that front wing part. And we can now see Ron Cruiser. What a advantage from him, goes into P5. We have a lot of tight squeezing up each other in the top 10. This is very interesting. We have a lot of fight going on in our hands right now for every position up in the P10, even up into the bottom 10 with a bit of differences. Basco is now dropping 1.5 towards equals, and there's a beautiful fight and done. And we also have battle between Mepo and the Red Bull. Oh my god, so many things happening at the same time right now. Reed is trying to take away the lead, but for now Smelto is kind of safe, but there's not too much space for them to work with. We can now see the closest fight, I think, is somewhere around P9, P10. We got two McLarens, Mepo and Matt, chasing Alpine and then being hunted by a Red Bull. The stakes are slowly begin to different themselves.
Alfa Romeo are fighting each other. They are not
yeah, Alfa Romeo, they're fighting each other really strong. What are they doing? Incredible. So much fighting between the two teammates in Alfa Romeo. Not the best teamwork for them. And we have some position swaps as McLarens going side by side, but the McLaren is not going to attack each other. But that's a good team racing between Matt and Mepo. Matt didn't dive bomb on Mepo to let him through, and now Mepo is going to challenge the Ferrari. We get 1 second drop between Alpine of Harkitarki and Icewind. Luke is trying to defend from McLaren. Around the outside goes Mepo. Beautiful overtake on the Ferrari. And now down the back straight, he's going to have P8, followed by Luke right behind him. Then there's another McLaren of Matt, followed again by Red Bull. Very close fight between P8, 9, and 10 all the way through, and 11th as well. What a tight fight. So far, Smelto still the race. And Matt is going down the inside of the Ferrari, can squeeze himself alongside Luke. Luke is still up in the P9, and he has to back it off for now. Matt is going to have some danger from now from the outside, as Red Bull is still there, that P11 Red Bull, but he's going to have to back it off for now. Red Bull is also backed off by Alpine, Aston, and AlphaTauri. Then 2-second gap to Alfa Romeos. Then they're backed off by Gianni's. Then 12-second gap of Dice with Nico, who suffered a crash, and Crazy Joe's all the way in the back after sustaining damage that forced him to pit early on. The closest fight we have right now between McLarens, Ferrari, Red Bulls, Alpine. This is a very tight battle in the middle. In the front, there's still a lot of close differences, but for now, no position swaps in the front of the stakes. There is a position swap in the bottom, however. Nico overtakes Dice, so Red Bull gets out of Williams. And we have a 3-second time penalty for Kyriakidis, which is a Red Bull driver on P11. This is going to be very troublesome to fix later on, because those margins are so small that those 3 seconds could be very hard to fix. Equals 2, and we can now see him fighting against Bebix. Wait, what is Equals doing at P13? Where did we miss that? The championship leader, who was starting in the front, is now 13th. I just realized that. What happened to Aston Martin? There was so much chaos, I just lost the visual sight of the championship leader, who is now trying to win back that P12, and he will, but he's still all the way down in P12. Did he suffer any sort of damage, or was he collided with? We're gonna have to take a look at that later on, because for now, he is at the bottom 12, and he's not the fastest car. We have a yellow flag, sector 1 and 3. What happened there? Sector 3 still yellow flags. We're checking to see what happened. Maybe it was someone from the back. It is Dice. Yes, Dice has now lost 8 seconds to Red Bull, which means it has to be hit. And now we can see that Giannis is gaining position. No, he is losing position to Kotsampasis, and now he's defending up from Flaw. So there are small margins in between them. Have you seen what happened to Equals? I mean, there was so much chaos going on, I just totally forgot that he was up in the top, and he's now P12. What happened here?
I didn't see anything because we had so many battles going on. We were trying to keep up with everything.
I couldn't keep up with everybody, sorry, but now I'm seeing this Equals is P12, fighting against Alpine in the back, and he's now hunting down the Red Bull. Yes, and we have another attack in between Luke and Matt. So many actions right now, and we have Matt ahead of Luke, which means that both McLaren has just overtook the Ferrari. In the top 5, not many fights right now, but the McLarens and McLaren and Ferrari.
We have a DRS train.
Yeah, we have a lot of DRS train in the top 8 because so far top 8 are sticking to each other except for Matt in P9, who has dropped 2 seconds behind his teammate Meppo and now has to lead another train which consists of cars from position P9 all the way to P14. Then another 2-second gap of Kotsampasis and Alfa Romeo, that is followed by 17th position Flo, and then the 3 drivers in the very back. And now we can see the fight again between Ferrari and the McLaren. A bit of lag between Matt and Luke. There have been some internet connection issues, but Ferrari is still trying to get ahead of him. Kotsampasis is overtook by Giannis. He goes up into P15, that Aston Martin driver. And now we can see that huge DRS train in the top 10 and in the bottom 10. 2 separate DRS trains, all fighting for positions. In the top 8, not many shifts. We have another 3-second time penalty for Ron Cruiser, who is in P5. That's gonna hurt because he was running in P5, but if they were to cross the finish line at this point, he would be all the way down to P9 or lower. That's gonna hurt, so we're gonna get that pace back in order to get the biggest advantage possible before crossing the finish line. Those 3-second time penalties will be important. The margins, as you can see, are very tight between the drivers, and those 3 seconds can basically define which position you're going to finish at. Kotsampasis again takes over P15 from Giannis. These two are going at it every single lap. Other than that, we have a lot of DRS trains, but not many overtakes. We have a fight between Equals and Kyriakides, the championship leader, struggling with the traction now, following Red Bull of Kyriakides, who's got 3-second time penalty. The Red Bull starts to drop to Ferrari, which means we're about to see another snake separating their head off. So we're gonna have top 8 drivers piling it through, and Alpine has clipped the back of Equals. That was Bedix who touched Equals. He almost spun because of it, but they're still going very close to each other. Red Bull has dropped out of the DRS of Ferrari. This is gonna be used by Equals, who now overtakes Red Bull. This is gonna be double overtake because there's Alpine coming through as well, and it is Bedix has also gone ahead of Kyriakides, who loses 2 places on 1 lap. Kyriakides is going to try to win this back, but he can't for now. It's going to be Equals followed by him, and Basco gets himself ahead of Red Bull driver as well. 3 positions lost in 1 sector. That's got to hurt.
Because the souls are dropping off right now, and they drop off like stones.
It's incredible what's going on in between the position 11 to 14. If we have now a bit more safe in the top, because it's pretty calm in the top, but from position 11 all the way to 14th, it's an equal fight. Now Equals is gonna try to make the gap between himself and Bebix bigger, so that's basically gonna be a 3-man show. Bebix, Basco and Kyriakides. Which one of these guys is gonna dare to attack first? So far we can see they're all bunching up. Then 3 seconds behind them is Kotsampasis, followed by Giannis, then a bit far behind them, and we have first pit stop. No, that's the DNF! Luke JDI is out of the race. What happened there to the Ferrari, who is out of the race? He was coming in the pit lane. I saw the pit lane icon, but then he DNF. Could this mean he hit the wall coming into the pit lane? We have unconfirmed information. Did you saw what happened to Luke? What happened to the Ferrari?
No, I saw him going in the pit,
and then he retired. So basically he retired from the race on his own. That it wasn't a crash, which means that of course we're safe from the safety car.
Maybe he pressed the button to go to the menu, and the AI took over, and the AI tried to get back on the track.
I don't know, it's so hard to tell because right now I'm just not sure, but Luke is out of the race. He has officially left, which means he's now out of the race. At the top, still no differences. Smelto is still leading the Grand Prix, followed by Vlad Reed, then our gamer. Run Cruiser with 3-second time penalty. Tunari, Icewind, Mepo, Harkitarki, Matt. We got another yellow flag. That's still the Ferrari, who is now at the side of the road. So basically that's a confirmation. Yep, Luke is out. Then Matt is 2.5 behind Harkitarki, which means the top 8 are now battling all together for the win. Matt is in P8. Equals is already up into P10 thanks to Luke DNF, so he's back into the points, but he's not going to be satisfied with only that. Let me tell you that. Bedix is following him. He's trying to stay on Equals, but it's very hard. We can see Equals trying to build a gap of over 1 second. Then following Bedix is Basco. We have another position drops. There are 2 pits now. Coming to the pits are Kyriakidis and Giannis is staying out. So we have only Kyriakidis in the pit. We'll see how this is going to go from which tire to which. He was on the soft compound before, and he's about to come out on medium compound. Medium tires for Kyriakidis in Red Bull. He's now dropped all the way down to P16. So we have still a lot of DRS trains in the top. P8 to P8 are basically connected. We have a fight between 2 Red Bulls. No, it's not a fight, I'm sorry. It was just timing sheets broken, and basically I didn't notice that Kyriakidis is so far behind. So Dice is now getting ahead of Kyriakidis as he's finally coming out of the pit lane. And Kyriakidis will be 18th with a 3-second time penalty, but he doesn't have to worry about Crazy Joe's. He's 40 seconds behind the rest of the field so far. We don't know if that's the cause of some kind of damage or was there something more. And our gamer gets himself a 3-second time penalty. Another man from the top 5, even top 3, is now getting penalty. This is going to be crucial on the final back straight, crossing the finish line. Basically, at this point, Tunari, who is P5, will be taking the podium, and it's a fight between the leaders. Vlad Reed trying to retake his pole win, and is he going to do it down the inside on Smelto? No, not now. He has to back it up. Smelto is still in the lead with Vlad Reed in second place. Then both our gamer and Run Cruiser with 3-second time penalties. Tunari, Icewind, Mepo, and Harkitarki. Top 8 really bunching up. And we have another 3-second time penalty for Bedix in Alpine. And he's also retiring. He's coming in the pits to retire as well. That's a second DNF. Oh, and somebody's off the track. That is Kotsampasis. Kotsampasis was off the track. I didn't know if that was the fault of Giannis. They were close together. Or was that just Alfa Romeo driver mistake? But he was on the gravel. And he's now dropping a lot more than that. We have now official confirmation. Bedix has retired from the race. Means we're left with 18 drivers in this Grand Prix. Now we have the same settings, and that's a mistake of Tunari. He's gonna drop position to Icewind. He's now down into P6. No, gonna win this back on the inside. Beautiful fight between the Ferrari and Mercedes. And it's Mercedes on top again. Icewind up into P5. Run Cruiser and Haas gets ahead of our gamer in Mercedes. Another swap in positions in the top 5. That's a bit of fight we have going on in top. Now we're still waiting to see what's gonna come out of those penalties, because so far, provisionally, Icewind would be on the podium following Smelto and Vlad Reed. We're gonna see what's gonna change. There are still a lot of laps in this race. Anything can happen. At this point, we have a huge DRS train that Mepo has joined now. He has now caught up to Harkitarki, but Matt, he's 3 seconds behind the DRS train. Then we have 3 seconds behind Matt is Equals, who is now fighting Basco. Basco was actually 10th for a while, but now Equals winning this back. Nightco is another person to receive 3-second time penalty. That's actually his second penalty, if I remember correctly, which would mean he's now got 6 seconds time penalty, that Red Bull driver. Not many changes in the back. We have a fight between Giannis and Kotsampasis. No, it's not a fight, sorry. Giannis is pitting. Now I just got confirmation that Giannis is coming in the pits. Again, switching those soft compound tires. We're about to see which tires is going to go next. Is he going to go the same as the Red Bull driver for mediums? He is coming in from softs to mediums. Exactly the same strategy for the race so far. We're going to see if they're going to go soft mediums to the end, or is it a double stop strategy. The top 8 so far, no pits whatsoever from these guys. Nobody's coming in at this point. We have a bit of safe moment for now, not many position swaps. There is a close fight between Basco and Equals, but so far it's basically not work for these two guys to exchange positions. They just need to use the DRS to get closer. Icewind gets a 3-second time penalty. Both Mercedes drivers with 3-second time penalties. This is gonna affect them majorly because at this moment Tunari will be back onto podium no matter if he finishes P6. Because the 3 guys ahead of him have 3-second time penalty and they're actually gonna fight. No, our gamer backs it off compared to Icewind. He's not gonna attack him. We're about to see what kind of strategy Mercedes is gonna pull out because now Icewind is ahead of our gamer on hard compound. Smelto is coming in the pits. The race leader who was on a medium compound is now gonna come into the pits, followed by the Haas of Rum Cruiser who is right behind him also in the pits as well. He's coming from medium tires too. We're gonna see which tire are they gonna put now. The presumable tire strategy is medium hard, so that's most likely what these guys are aiming. Dice gets himself a 3-second time penalty. As we said, there are a lot of penalties in this Grand Prix. Smelto barely, but he comes out ahead of Ron Cruiser, both of them on hard compound tires. And it's about to be a race to the finish line for them. For now, we have a new race leader, Vlad Reed, who made himself 1 second clear of Icewind, which means that the Mercedes driver is not allowed to use DRS behind him. Icewind is following his teammate R Gamer, who is barely behind him, but now Tunari on the inside, and he's done him. Nice and smooth from the Ferrari, who's up into P3, and R Gamer is 4th, which means that there's a still fight between Harkitarki because he's now 5th. But once he gets himself ahead of the Mercedes, he can now challenge Tunari, who is currently running for the podium. So there's still an incredibly close fight for the podium. Vlad Reed is for now safe in the lead due to early pit stop from Smelter. We're going to see if this is going to be worth for him, or is Vlad Reed going to take this as an advantage? We have an attack from Harkitarki. He's going to try to go down the inside of Mercedes. No, Mercedes is blocking him from the outside, so he's going to go to the inside, and Harkitarki is ahead of our gamer. Our gamer is dropping positions again. He's now all the way down to 5th. Meppo is going to try to use that, and our gamer is in the pits right now. He's heading in for his pit stop from soft tires. He's most likely going to go for mediums, but he might also go in for hard compound. We're about to see 5-second time penalty for Basco of AlphaTauri, who is coming in the pits and he oversped in the pit lane. This is going to be another crucial mistake for this driver. He's going to have to suffer 5-second time penalty. That's going to be huge. Meanwhile, Equals, the championship leader, he's still 7th, and he's now only 3 seconds behind the McLaren of Matt. He's gaining those positions despite, of course, many of those being gained due to pit stops, but he's still pushing like crazy. We're about to see if he can get any closer to the top guys. Remember, he was dropped in the beginning from all the way of top 5 down to the bottom of 13th, which is now basically going all the way from the bottom. Ron Cruiser and Smelto fighting for P10 despite the fact Ron Cruiser is suffering this 3-second time penalty. Behind those guys in the bottom 10, we also have our gamer who came out of the pits in 12th. Naiko is 13th, Vasco at 14th, then Kyriakidis, Giannis, Dice, and Crazy Joss in the back. So far, Brad Reed is safe in the lead, 2 seconds ahead of Icewind. There was a short yellow flag in the back. That was for Dice, I believe, of Williams, who made a mistake. He's now 6 seconds behind Giannis, so it's not any close to the fight. The best fight we have right now is between the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, which is between Icewind, Tunari, Harkitarki. Meppo is there as well from McLaren. That's a very close 4-person fight. Behind them, we got Matt, Equals, Kontapasis, Flow, Run Cruiser, Smelto, our gamer, Naiko, Basco, Kyriakis. We have another overtake. Tunari goes into 2nd place ahead of Icewind, who was holding him back with that 3-second time penalty. And now he's going to have to try to win this position back. He's on a harder compound because he's on the hard tires. Tunari is on mediums, which means Tunari gets the natural advantage in terms of that. We're about to see if Harkitarki can use that as well, because Tunari, he's going to use Icewind as a roadblock to get himself a nice gap between himself and Harkitarki. Harkitarki down the inside! Double overtake! No, that was very close though. He's going to try that. No, he's going to do it. Yes, he's going to do it! Tunari! He gets a 3-second time penalty as well after crossing the corner. Oh my goodness me. Which means it's now top 3 drivers again with penalties. Brad Reed is safe. Harkitarki is 2nd. Tunari and Icewind both 3rd and 4th. but there were 3 second time penalties, which means that Mepo would be finishing ahead of them at this point. What a close fight we have, and again, those small mistakes, those very tiny corner cuts might define the final standings of the race. Those are extremely important to take care of. We have another overtake in the midfield. Ron Cruiser gets himself ahead of Smelto, and Smelto gets himself ahead of Flo. He has been overtook by both of these drivers from AlphaTauri and Haas. This is the closest fight we have right now, except of course for the fight in the front in the top 5, because Tunari, he is trying to get this position back, and he will from Icewind, as we have Harkitarki coming into the pits. He's now coming into the pit lane, coming in from those hard compound tires who he was starting at. Mepo is now going to be in the best position for him possible. He's following 2 cars that are on the podium, but due to the fact he doesn't have a penalty compared to them, he is now on provisional podium, because at this point, once the race will be finished, he will be in P2. Question is he going to be able to deliver this? Vlad Reed builds himself a comfortable lead, and Konsampasis is up ahead of Harkitarki due to him pitting. Ron Cruiser is also ahead of him now. There goes Smelto. Harkitarki, where is he going to come out in terms of position? He will be at P11, which means he's now behind our gamer. Our gamer with that 3 second time penalty. Still, we have overtake between Giannis and Naiko, and Equals is coming into the pits, and he's going to come out in P14, right behind his teammate Giannis. Is Giannis going to let him pass? That's the question right now, because of course Equals proved he has a pace. Now he's all the way back where he was. Giannis gets a 5 second time penalty for cutting the corner, not even for track limits, but for cutting the corner. Oh my god, that's going to be a big for him. Equals is now going to try to get close to his teammate. I'm pretty sure they're not gonna fight each other. I mean, Alfa Romeo have been fighting each other this race, so who knows? Tunari is again dropping place to Icewind. This is a very close fight between the Mercedes and the Ferrari, with Mepo very patiently waiting there. We have a box of race leader. Brad Reed is coming in the pits from those medium tires. He's finally pitting, which means that now Tunari will be a race leader, followed by Mepo, and then it's Icewind who also came into the pits. So Matt is in P3. After both Icewind and Vlad Reed has came into the pits. We're about to see what kind of tires our race leader will be putting on. Those are soft tires, which means he's going medium soft. Risky strategy. 5 second time penalty for Flaw for entering the pit lane too quick. What a shame for Alfa Romeo driver, as he's now going to be penalized. And we are seeing Vlad Reed coming out of the pit lane. This is going to be close between him, Icewind, and a couple of more drivers. Here he comes. He's going to be ahead of Harkitarki, 1 second, not even 1 second ahead of the Alpine. And now Vlad Reed is going to make a charge from P7. Can he get that lead back? Because he still has Harkitarki in the back of him with less than half second. But Harkitarki is in mediums, which means not going to be much of a threat for him. Ron Cruiser is up into P4 ahead of Smelto. But still, Ron Cruiser's got that 3 second time penalty. This is going to hurt him a lot. And for the moment, as if they would cross the finish line, he would be position lower. Dice is coming in the pits, as he is so far the last person in this race. Tunari, who is still leading despite having the 3 second time penalty ahead of Mepo, who is patiently following the Ferrari. He still hasn't made that overtake, despite the fact I believe he could have gone for it, but he's still following the Ferrari driver. Matt is 3 seconds behind them. We have a sector 2 yellow flag, 3 second time penalty for Matt, McLaren driver. And he's coming in the pits right now, so a lot of drivers right now have a penalty, and it's gonna be an overtake for Mepo. He's finally taking the lead of the race officially, because he was technically a leader, looking at 3 second time penalty of Tunari, but he's finally leading officially. Tunari following him through. Matt in the pits. Ron Cruiser, he's there, most likely gonna be coming out ahead of Matt, who is still in the pits, followed by Smelto, who now is into P4. We have fastest lap of the race from Harkitarki on medium compound tires. That's interesting, actually. Vlad Reed is at P6. Now Harkitarki goes into 7th place. We got a yellow flag, and that is a safety car. For the first time in this race, we have a safety car. What happened there? We're checking what happened. And yeah, I mean, Matt is dropping place, but what happened? Where's the car stopped? We have a safety car. Maybe there wasn't any stoppage. Maybe it was just some kind of crash or hit the wall. We have drivers coming into the pits, of course, under the safety car. They're going to use this as an advantage. But who caused the safety car? That's the real question. I don't see any sort of broken front wings, nor some kind of huge drop of positions. So that's weird. Maybe it was multiple yellow flags in different sectors due to some drivers spinning or some different mistakes. Anyway, we're now out of the safety car, so let's take a look at the driver standings. We have Meppo in the lead, followed by Tunari with 3-second time penalty. Then it's Runner Cruiser in third with 3-second time penalty as well. Smelto in fourth, our gamer, Vlad Reed, Arkitarki, Icewind, Basco, Matt, equals Giannis, Kyriakidis, Totsampasis, Dice, Nyko, Grazy Jost, and Flo in the back who's now coming into the pits. Meppo and Tunari coming into the pits. This was basically a gift for them because they were leading with comfortable advantage and now they get a pit stop each for free. Of course, they're going to come in for soft compound tires as this is basically less than 10 laps if you include those laps under the safety car, which is going to be not a lot of laps of racing for every driver. Now Meppo, he looks like a favorite to win the race at this point. Everybody coming into the pits, most of them are gamers staying out. He's going to be taking the lead of the race while still having 3 seconds time penalty. Brad Reed stays out. Meppo is coming in at P4 because Harkitarki is ahead of him. So it's our gamer, Vlad Reed, Harkitarki, Meppo, Tunari, then followed by Icewind, Matt, equals Run Cruiser, who is coming out of the pit lane now, followed by Smelto, Basco, Giannis, Kyriakidis, Totsampasis, he hasn't come into the pits yet. Then Dice, Nyko, Grace Joss, and Flaw. We have Totsampasis going up into P11. He hasn't came into the pits. So we have our gamer in the lead with 3-second time penalty, and Vlad Reed is second. Are they all on fresh soft tires? That's what I want to see in terms of who's got the best tires at the moment. Let's see. So when it comes to the tire advantage, okay, got it. So our gamer is on 5-lap medium tires, so he's technically on the worst set from all the guys in the top. Then we have 2 laps old softs for Vlad Reed, Meppo on the freshest possible soft compound. So basically Meppo and Vlad Reed, they look like a favorite to win this race. Behind them is Harkitarki, but he's on the mediums that have already been he's already been on those mediums for 3 laps. Then behind him is Tunari with fresh softs, but he's got a 3-second time penalty, same as our gamer. Icewind also with 3-second time penalty on the mediums, and Matt, who's also on softs, but also with 3-second time penalty, then equals medium tires for him, Run Cruiser, Smelto, and Totsampasis. Red Bull of Kyriakidis, Basco, and Giannis all on soft tires, Dice on mediums, Nyko, Grazy Joss on softs, and Flaw on mediums, which to me for now, Meppo and Vlad Reed, they look like possible race winners. We're gonna have to wait to find out if it's actually gonna be like that. But for me, really, this looks like a possible race win for one of those two guys. They look very well right now. It's worth to mention that Meppo has gained 9 places since the beginning of this race. He is definitely looking like the driver of the day so far. And in terms of the worst performance so far, Smelto, who was starting at P2, now sits in the back at P10. So we have the best driver looking so far is definitely the McLaren driver. But of course, Vlad Reed, who started from pole position, he is second for now, yes, but of course, he's second due to the fact that ahead of him is our gamer on medium tire compound and 3-second time penalty. So right after the safety car, this is going to be basically a race who's going to be able to get into the lead first, Vlad Reed or Meppo, and then since this is going to be to the finish line between those two drivers, I have to assume, or maybe somebody from the medium tire compound users will be good enough and quick enough to get that victory. Of course, we're not including the guys in 3-second time penalty for now. I don't think it's really possible for them to pull this much of a gap on medium tires over the guys in softs. So there's still in the fight for podium are Harkitarki, Meppo, Vlad Reed. Those 3 look like a possible podium finishers because the only person without a time penalty in the top 10 so far, when we look from top to bottom, it's equals on P8. And then you have P10 Smelto. So basically P5, 6, and 7 with the leader at the moment, including our gamer, are all suffering from time penalties, which are going to be very crucial on the final back straight. Of course, there's still a couple of laps left, which means that those penalties can still be applied. There still might be some penalties in this race. I mean, we are not sure, and we're going to have to wait to find out which way is this gonna go. We're still waiting for the safety car to be restarted. We have now caught up with everybody as Flo just rejoined the rest of the pack, and we're gonna have to wait for the restart. Now safety car is in this lap, that's the official information. The restart will be followed by our gamer, who will be now restarting the race. We're about to go green with less than 10 laps to go. This is going to be interesting all the way to the finish line. Most of the grid on soft compound tires, but some of them on medium compound tire. This means that the soft compound tire users with no penalties will be the favorites to pick up the victory here in this race. But is it going to happen? We're going to have to wait and find out. Of course, our eyes are locked on two front row runners, which are Vlad Reed and Mepo, or Mepo front row in terms of right now, because again he was starting all the way in the back. He's now third. Smelto, on the other hand, is quite opposite. He was starting in the front. He's now in P10, and we are still waiting for our gamer to give it full throttle deep. Here we go. He is now full throttle deep. We are racing again in Silverstone. It's a comfortable lead for him, but Vlad Reed gets a beautiful advantage over Mepo. He won that start. Tunari throws a challenge to Harki Tarki, who's out of the track, and he's gonna have to go very wide, losing a lot of places and time. Oh, and it's a contact. That's McLaren of Matt spinning out, and he's also collected Alpha Tauri. Huge crash in this corner in sector 1. I saw a 3-second time penalty for Harki Tarki as well, and they're now dropping places like crazy. Vlad Reed is pulling a comfortable lead. He is going for that victory. Our gamer following him on medium compound tires with penalty. Mepo in third. We have a lot of fight between Ron Cruiser and Smelto now, all the way up into P6 and 7. Harki Tarki is under pressure from the pass driver. Ron Cruiser around the outside, not enough pace. He has to settle for 7th for now, but Smelto is right behind him. They're the championship leader equals in P9 right now. He's gonna have to throw everything he's got. There are only 7 laps remaining. Ron Cruiser ahead of Harki Tarki, finally done it with that move. And Matt is all the way down to 16th place. What an unpleasant surprise. He was looking really strong. And Mepo finally getting ahead of our gamer, Izzy. Very close fight in the top 3, and done him. Mepo is done, and Mepo is up into P2. Tunari as well. Oh my god, not a double overtake. Tunari ahead of Mepo. And no, wait a minute. Our gamer is still there. He's not gonna buck it off. It's gonna be a side-by-side between Ferrari, Mercedes, and Tunari is now up into P3 again, followed by our gamer and his teammate now. Icewind is coming in at P5. Behind him is Ron Cruiser. Then Smelto, Harkitarki, equals Giannis, Kyriakides, guys, Nyko, Gracie Joss, Matt, who went all the way to the back, Flo from Sampasis, and coming into the pit lane is Vasco. Just a couple of laps remaining. Vlad Reed is leading, but it's not a comfortable lead because Mepo, incredible pace from him, he's still holding at the back of Vlad Reed. It's going to be race to the finish line for the victory between those two, Williams and McLaren. Tunari is in third now with comfortable lead over Icewind, who is following a huge DRS trade on his back between Ron Cruiser, our gamer, Smelto, Harki Tarki equals RC Giants, and we have a Dice, yellow flag. Dice is in the wall. Dice is in the wall. It's going to be a safety car. No, it's not. It's only a yellow flag. He's definitely got some damage. That was a big one. But for now, we can go back to racing as Dice wasn't really in the points. But it's still a shame that the Williams driver is off. Melpo is trying to fight for the win again. Tunari really now sitting at the back of Melpo. Despite those 3-second time penalty, he has to fight every single moment because he might force them to make a mistake under pressure. That is going to cost them this position. Mepo into the lead. New race leader now. Mepo leads the pack, but Vlad Reed is still there. Down the inside, Reed regains the lead of the race. Very tight racing between the Williams and McLaren. And I think it's going to be Vlad Reed around the outside with more traction. Yes, it is. And now we have DRS enabled after the safety car. It's a really tight bunch up in the P4. Top 4 drivers are really close to towards each other. Mepo goes into the lead again. It's a mistake from Vlad Reed. No, it's a switchback. And Vlad Reed gets the lead again. Yellow flag sector 3. I don't know what's happening there, but there's too much in the front right now. It's Vlad Reed leads. Tunari goes into second place. Despite those 3-second time penalties, Dice retired in the pit lane. That's because of a yellow flag. And we go back to the top because top 4, now top 5 are at it. We have a 3-second time penalty for Kotsampasis of Alfa Romeo. We don't know what happened there, but he's now finding his teammate. And again, we have another overtake in the midfield. Harki Tarki gets himself out of our gamer. He's now over seconds back to the guys in top 6 because top 6 are really bunched up. Smelto, Ron Cruiser, Icewind, Mepo Tunari, and Vlad Reed. All of them really close. Giannis gets a 3-second time penalty for us. And driver Martin. Oh, and we have a spin. That's our gamer who spawned. Mercedes driver has spawned really hard and is now all the way down to P15, if not 16. What a mistake from our gamer. What a shame. I don't know if it was his mistake. And Vlad Reed Vlad Reed is out. He's found. He spun a lot. Have you seen what happened? Was it a mistake or somebody hit him? What happened there?
That's when they were trying to go 3 wide in the last quarter.
Oh my god, Vlad Reed is all the way in the bottom. Metal lost a lot of place. Look at this. Tunari with 3 second time penalties. He might be challenging for the win. We know that he's got a penalty, but Metal is now dropping a lot of time to him. So is Smelto. Those are the only 2 drivers in the top 5 with no 3 second time penalty. Other than that, Ron Cruiser is in P3, 3 second time penalty, and so is Icewind P2, but also time penalty. Harkitarki is 1.3 away from the top 5, which doesn't mean he has a much chance to get close for now, but it's a very tight fight again. Ron Cruiser up into P2 ahead of Icewind. Metal is now P4 with Smelto in P5. Harkitarki dropped even more. Vlad Reed dropped all the way back into P10. Equals regained P7, and he's now gonna challenge Harkitarki. Basco makes the fastest lap of the race all the way from the bottom in P17. Equals, he might still challenge. There is an overtake for McLaren of Matt, who gets ahead of Crazy Joe's. And we are going back into the top because it's still very tight in there. Not many overtakes for now, but Smelto and Mepo, these 2 are going to have to work a lot. Those are some final laps, and they might still challenge for the win. Now we have overtakes from Equals, who gets ahead of Harkitarki, and he's now up into P6, and surprisingly Equals, who was dropped all the way to 13th, already up into P6. He still might even challenge for the podium. He's going to be quick enough. Tunari gets another 3 second time penalty. I think this cuts his dream of winning this race. With this much penalty applied, Ron Cruiser is right behind him for now. When it comes to penalties, Tunari is 6 second time penalty. He has no way of winning this for now. And Ron Cruiser is going to challenge him for P1. And he's going to do it. Is he? I think he will. Down the inside, now round the outside right now. Down the back straight with the DRS, and Ron Cruiser is a new race leader. Tunari in second, Icewind in third, but still Mepo is the favorite for now to win this race. Looking at all those penalties, Mepo will be taking the win if they're going to finish like that. And Smelto could be going for P2 despite being in P2 on the start of the race, then dropping to the bottom. Now he might be getting this P2 again. Equals is in 6th, 2.5 behind those guys, following different DRS train, followed by Giannis, then Harkitarki, Kyriakidis, then all the way behind them is Vlad Reed, then Matt, Crazy Joe's, Naiko, Katsampasis, our gamer, Flaw, and Basco. What a crazy race we have so far in Silverstone, an amazing action all the way from top to bottom. Ron Cruiser trying to build a gap, but with this close racing and this constant DRS train, I'm not sure he's going to be able to escape, which means that if it's going to stay like this to the finish of the race, it's going to be Mepo and Smelto celebrating for sure. But who's going to be in P3? Well, at this moment, it's important. Who's going to be finishing higher, Icewind or Ron Cruiser? Because if they were both to finish close to each other, it's between them who's going to take the podium, the last step on the podium, P3. We are still looking at those penalties because, again, every single lap, it has so many corners that you can make so many mistakes that can cause you to get a 3 second time penalty. So Mepo and Smelto, despite being in a very comfortable situation, they still have to look out and look behind their shoulder in order to not make a simple mistake. Equals, he's now 2.5 still behind those guys, so I don't think Equals is going to get much closer to the win/podium fight. So we can now only focus on the guys in the midfield, because so far the guys in the top, they're very close, but none of them is making any mistakes so far. None of them is making any sort of movements or overtakes, and nor are they pulling any sort of gap. In the midfield, it's also getting more comfortable now with Equals, followed by Giannis and Harkitarki, who is trying to get close to them, but he's dropping back a bit. Then Kyriakidis, Vlad Reed, it was 4 seconds behind Kyriakidis. He's followed by Matt in McLaren. Then there right behind them is Crazy Joe's, Naiko. Then Katsampasis, our gamer, Flaw, and Basco in the back. This is a very close racing, 24th lap out of 26, which means it's gonna be it's very close to the finish, and we have another overtake. Look at this, Matt goes up into P10, Reed into 11, Naiko into 12, our gamer ahead of Katsampasis, some position changes, and Harkitarki, he's off the track! Harkitarki's off the track onto the grass, and he's all the way in the bottom. That's basically a goodbye to his pointing position finish, as now we have Crazy Joe's, who's, despite the fact he's 11, oh, and Vlad Reed has retired! Vlad Reed is retiring from the race. I don't know if he's in the pit lane. Yes, he's retiring in the pit lane. Okay,
But
so we have...
even if he didn't retire, we are 2 laps from the end. We wouldn't have a safety car.
Yeah, there's no way for safety car right now. There's no possible situation for that. Ron Cruiser is still leading with 2 laps to go. Tunari following him with 6 seconds time penalty compared to his 3 seconds. Icewind is third with also 3 second time penalty. Melpo and Smelto still fighting, still going right behind each other, battling for the win. Equals is now dropping 3 seconds to the guys in front. Gianni is following him through. Kyriakidis is now 3 seconds dropping to Aston Martins. He's now followed by Matt, who is 2 seconds behind him. Nyko is 10th. Now look at this. Crazy Joe, who was all the way in the back for most of the race, is now 11th. But if you take a look at the penalties, he will be finishing in the points, looking at the penalties of the Red Bull and Matt. So he might be still finishing in the points at this moment. Ron Cruiser now drops into 2nd place. Tunari is trying to make again to put those enemies under pressure, because again, every single corner there's a possibility of a mistake, of miscalculation that can cost you anything at this point. This can cost you literally everything. Crazy Joes gets into P10, so now he'll be definitely in the points, and if he keeps this pace up, he might even finish P9 ahead of Matt. This is looking really good. He's gonna keep pushing for that. Melto and Mepo, these guys are very, very safe for now, because Mepo is basically going to win this race if nothing is going to change on the final lap of the race that has just been begun. This is looking very close and very good for the McLaren driver. Smelto, who started in 2nd place, he is still looking to battle for a win, because this is the moment. If you want to win this race, Smelto, this is the chance for you right now. That AlphaTauri driver has to give it everything he's got in order to throw everything at Melpo. If he's not going to do anything more, he can only hope for his mistake. But Mepo hasn't done a single mistake for the last couple of laps. He's been driving brilliantly tonight. I think that's one of the most favorite picks for the driver of the day. He went all the way from the bottom. He survived the mental warfare between all the guys in the front. Those who've lost are now suffering from those effects of 3 and 6 seconds time penalty, and he's still standing there. He's still driving beautifully, and it looks like he might be picking up this victory here tonight. We're about to enter the final moments of the Grand Prix, Sector 3, and we're still looking at Mepo. Matt gets a 3 second time penalty while being at P9, which means that Crazy Joes is definitely going to be finishing ahead of him at this point if it's going to stay like this. We're entering the final moments, around the final corner. Ron Cruiser crosses the finish line first, followed by Tunari and Icewind, but it's Mepo who takes the win at the Silverstone Grand Prix. Smelto is on the podium, and Ron Cruiser, who led the pack, finishes at the bottom stage of the podium. Equals goes up into P5 after all the penalties are applied. He's right behind Icewind. Tunari, despite finishing across the finish line 2nd, he's now dropped to 6th. Giannis finishes 7th. The points finishing closers are Kyriakidis in P8, P9 for Crazy Joes, and P10 for Matt. Out of the points, we have Flo, our gamer, Kotsampasis, Naiko, Harkitarki, and Basco in this lineup. What a race we had here tonight in Silverstone. Some of them had amazing stories. Mepo definitely is gonna have this day happy to remember. Totally opposite for Vlad Reed. You just can't feel bad for this guy. I mean, you can't feel sorry for this guy. This guy was starting from pole position, led for most of the race until he was taken out. Who took him out again? Who took Vlad Reed out?
They were fighting. 3 cars were fighting, and the touched each other while turning. So.
Okay, so we don't even know if this was some kind of somebody took him out, or did he made it?
Will have a lot of work today.
Okay, so it's gonna be a lot of work for the FIA, but it doesn't matter for Mepo. He is the happiest man for now. He is the winner of the Silverstone Grand Prix. Of course, presumably looking at the fact that a lot of positions can change after the FIA reviews, but I don't think Mepo has done anything controversial from my perspective. Mepo wins the Silverstone Grand Prix. Smelto comes in 2nd, and podium close by Ron Cruiser. What a Grand Prix we had here tonight. Oh my goodness me, that was my debut. Sorry for broken English and fucked up nicknames, but that was absolutely beautiful racing here in Silverstone in Tier 2. Do you have anything to add, my friend?
It was the thing that we expected. A lot of conflicts, a lot of overtakes, and a lot of incidents that resolved in safety car and a lot of penalties. Look at the penalty track now.
I mean, you could basically write a book about this whole Grand Prix and it would have at least 10 chapters to different drama, penalties, corner cuts, taken out. I mean, so much action packed into this one race. So, is this gonna be it for today, or are we gonna follow up with anything different, some kind of interviews? How does it work? Because I'm fresh with those and I don't know how this works.
We will have Mipo to talk to us.
Okay, so Mipo is here to talk with us. Good, very well. Hello, and first of all, congratulations. Amazing race all the way from the bottom up into that victory. How did it look like from your perspective, and how do you feel about this race?
I don't know. I drove the car from P11, trying to make as much positions from the quali as I can, and well, the safety car kinda helped me out with that. So there is that too. But lucky win, I guess.
You are the closest thing to Kimi Raikkonen I have witnessed in F1 online league races. What happened in the front? Because we didn't actually take a look at the Vlad Reed collision. How did it look like from your perspective? Because you were very close to this guy the whole race, and after the safety car, you were going side by side with him. What happened there?
I have no idea. I think we went 3 wide into that stove, and I don't know what happened. I'm not saying anything.
Okay, I
no
understand.
comment.
Okay, I understand. Anyway, congratulations for an amazing drive and surviving that battle. If you want to say anything to the fans, friends, family, or whoever you please, this is your moment. Go for it.
What a win.
I agree. Thank you very much, Mepo. And again, congratulations for an amazing race and amazing performance tonight.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. Anyway, my friend, do you have anything to add for today's race? Somebody else wants to talk to us, or this is going to be a wrap for today?
I don't know. We'll wait and see if anybody wants to talk. Like Icewind, for example. He was so close in getting points and maybe get the first place. And something went wrong. I don't know. I need to hear their point of views.
Okay, so we're about to do that. We also have to pick the driver of the day, but I think it's like obvious that it's gonna go to Meepo, right?
Meepo, of course.
Meepo's definitely deserved that all the way from the bottom, the safety car, those penalties, and he still pushed all the way through despite all that, and he's won that race. So let me know when we're gonna have somebody ready to talk to us. I'm just waiting for him right now.
I don't think they want to talk to us.
Okay, it doesn't matter. It's okay. We had our own personal Kimi Raikkonen in here giving us an interview. Meepo, a very shy man, but with a beautiful racing abilities tonight. Definitely proved that. Again, big shame to Vlad Reed for not being able to finish in the top despite an amazing drive from him today. Beautiful pole position and all the way through pushing hard, but in the end, not really able to finish. Again, I'm not going to talk about whose fault it was because I haven't seen the incident myself, and also, thankfully, I'm not the one responsible for handing out penalties and deciding who was at fault. This will definitely go to the FIA, so there might be some position changing after the race, but for now, we know that Meepo has won it. Let's talk about the second place guy. That was Smelto. He was amazing drive. I mean, he was P2 from the start. Then a lot of mayhem happened, but he still ended that P2 despite being P13, I believe, for a while. Amazing drive from him as well as an AlphaTauri.
Yes, if you play in Silverstone, especially, if you keep your head down, try to avoid mistakes, try to avoid penalties, and you don't get hit or something, you will get points. That's the only strategy I know for now that gives me points in Britain. But sometimes things don't work out. But it did for Meepo and Smelto.
Mm-hmm. Also, worth to mention, Equals, the championship leader. That wasn't his race, but then again, he was starting from P3, I believe. He dropped all the way to P13, somewhere in the mix from some kind of collision, and he still would go on to finish P5. That is a masterclass from him. Hasn't suffered any sort of penalty and pushed through despite all of those safety cars, which did help him a bit, let's be honest. But still, amazing performance from him.
It's like I said, if you don't involve yourself in incidents, like spinning, touching, stuff like that, then you will have a good race. This is not the case in this
Well, I mean,
situation.
technically, I mean, we saw that Tunari had suffered 2 free second time penalty, and despite the fact he looked
Yes,
very strong today, the pace was there. He's still out of the podium.
because Silverstone is a very technical race, even more technical, in my opinion, than Monaco. Because it's high speed, has sharp turns, high speed sharp turns, and you have to know exactly the limits because in many cases when you go on copse with full throttle and you touch the left line, you will get a penalty, even if the road is not over the line. So
Yeah, I
things
mean,
like that messes the things up.
yep, exactly. And it takes a lot of cojones to go for these corners flat out while being for 26 laps and not making a single mistake to not get those 3 seconds time penalty. Anyway, an amazing race here tonight in Tier 2. And oh boy, if Tier 1 is even better, then I am mostly excited for that race because if this is the prequel, then I'm ready for the main story because that was absolutely incredible. Thank you for giving us a chance tonight to show you this amazing race. Thank you for having me apologize for every single mistake that I did today in terms of mixing up someone's name and some language fuck ups because, again, I'm not from English speaking country, so sorry for that. Thank you for tonight for having me. I'm going to have to be on my way out anytime soon because I'm already scheduled for 9 p.m. So thank you, my friend from Greece, for organizing this live stream, and thank you for having me here tonight for this amazing race.
Thank you for being here. And guys, if you liked what you saw, if you like what you heard, and want to be informed and notified, then hit the subscribe button and press notifications and give us a thumbs up. Helps the algorithm. Thank you very much from us in the SLR community. Have a nice night. We'll expect you tomorrow again, 7:30 CET. Good night.